Gotta keep it together when your friends come back.
Aimee Mann's latest album is fantastic. She knows how to write a good chord progression, I'll say that much. One that makes the song feel like it's going somewhere. A melody you can easily latch onto and find endearing. Mental Illness takes on a sparer acoustic folk instrumentation, frequently topped by gorgeous, swooning string sections, along with very touching, pleasant vocal harmonies. Although, despite how gorgeous the album sounds, it's also very sad. As the title suggests, the subject matter is mental illness. It's a big move to name your album something as blatant as mental illness. So you would expect a lot of tracks here to cover that very topic. And they sort of do. Not to deny this album of being able to say that it does cover mental illness on quite a few occasions, like Roller Coasters or Lies of Summer, although they're not exactly in the blatant way you might expect from an album that is blatantly named mental illness. Rather than tackling mental illness on like I might have expected, the album has its large share of typical songs that talk about love, relationships, breakups, but then approach those topics with kind of a mental illness angle, bringing mental illness into those situations, which is an interesting way to cover it, although I feel like the coverage of said subject matter can be very subtle or ambiguous at times. As such, it may be fair to think that perhaps the title is a bit of a red herring. But despite that, in the end, I just judged the music, and the music itself was... it was gorgeous, even if saddening. The first track, Goose, Snow Cone, kind of starts off very, very despondent, with some heart-wrenching vocal harmonies on the chorus, and after the first time that chorus comes around, the next couple of times it does, you hear these beautiful strings swooning over the instrumental. Speaking of tracks that use strings very well, I love the way that the bridge of the song Good For Me has these vibrato violins that actually have this very dizzying feeling. Also really fitting in with the lyrics on that track.
I can see.
And there are times when Aimee Mann doesn't need the strings. She kind of strips things back and just leaves it to her and the acoustic guitar, like on Stuck in the Past. So whilst there are some instrumentally lush moments, there are also some subtler moments as well. So you kind of get that fair balance. Aimee Mann knows when to kind of build a track up and kind of take it back down for more or less an emotionally potent moment. Despite what I said about the album's ambiguous lyrics, I do think that this is a very endearing, beautiful, yet saddening and despondent album. And I actually would recommend it, so I'm actually thinking I might give this album an 8 out of 10.